Historic with this case time and time again. Here to put today's arraignment into historical context is one of the foremost U.S. presidential historians and New York Times bestselling authors, Douglas Brinkley. First of all, thank you so much for being with us.
Well, thank you. And I want you to know I'm not a curmudgeon, so this should go very well.
I happen to love curmudgeons. I honestly do. Because the fact of the matter is I would go out to lunch with anyone, including Lanny, and by the time it was over, we would both be laughing and having a great time. But unfortunately, with a case like this, first impressions are so volatile, or they can be, because this is a sensitive topic, this is an emotional case, and it's a very divisive one. Clearly, in this country, we still care about somebody not being above the law. And we also care about whether or not, even though we haven't seen any evidence, the fact that this particular president, polarizing as he is, has the ability to potentially be the next president of the United States.
Well, look, everybody is going to be turning into television, radio. Well, you know, this is a big moment in history that's going on today. I don't think we're going to get these dramatic visuals. I think there'll be modest protests in New York. There'll be cameras following Trump from Trump Tower to get booked. And the big payoff of the evening will be Trump's rally back at Mar-a-Lago. But it's almost astounding to think that we are on a day where a president has been indicted. We're going to have to see what the counts are and, what's behind, what it is that he's being charged for. But it's just going to inflame the country, and everybody's going to go into their Democratic blue corner, Republican red corner on this. And it's going to be a fight, not just today, but for the months to come. This will be the spring of indictments for former President Trump.
It's interesting because earlier in the show, we were talking about how everybody should remain calm and that we should all conduct ourselves with a measure of, a grain of salt, as my family would probably say, until we see the actual indictment, which we have not seen. Yeah. But the fact that this case, of all cases, of all the things that the president, former President Trump, is being charged with or being investigated for, we start with these hush money payments that someone else, Michael Cohen, has already been charged with in terms of the involvement of those hush money payments. And now he is still having to hear the name Stormy Daniels. So what are we going to be teaching our children in the history books 25 years from now?
Oh, well, Stormy Daniels will be there with Monica Lewinsky and, Marilyn Monroe and others. In that regard, I think of men that are married, that leap their, plunge into adultery and end up having illicit affairs. But I think the big takeaway I just had listening to Lanny Davis is how much important it is whether Michael Cohen, his client, is believed. Much of this case is going to be whether Trump gets convicted is going to rest on whether Cohen is a serial liar who's done jail time, and is now trying to cop a deal, or is it the opposite? That Cohen is a hero who did his time and is able to speak truth to power. Representing American law and order. Those two views of what do you think of Cohen is going to be at the heart of these indictments.
Well, and it's interesting. You say, could he be seen as a hero? When I think about Michael Cohen and something that I wish that I had the opportunity to discuss further with his attorney, is that I was taught as a child that you're responsible for your own actions. Now, whether or not former President Trump ordered him to write those checks, that is for the jury and the judge to decide. But I hope for the sake of history that we would see that just because you are ordered to lie does not mean you have to. And it's up to you to have the integrity and character to make the right decisions.
That's a very important point. And it's also important to know that you're innocent before proven guilty. So Donald Trump, as of today, is innocent of the charges. He's not been convicted yet. But when you're a figure like Trump, it's going to be easy to be, convicted in the media swirl. But we need to give a chance to let this breathe. It's going to go on for a while. There are going to be probably appeals. This is a process, not an event that's happening today. And the fact that there's not, at least for the moment, doesn't seem like there's a mugshot. There's no tape recording of the events today. It's largely indoors. that people are going to be clinging to whatever photo, a fist bump or a Make America Great hat, or maybe a few words that Donald Trump will say. So this, as I started, I think the big event tonight is going to be happening in Mar-a-Lago when Donald Trump defends himself on the airways.
Yeah. Again, his words being watched very closely, every single thing that he says being scrutinized. Thank you so much, Douglas Brinkley, and continued success to you. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.